on The Verge.
Good evening, I'm Stone Malone, and we have a very special guest tonight. Let's rewind to the 80s. Do you remember the pinups? How about the Box? 1988-ish, she stormed onto the Canadian rock scene with her first solo album, Tell Somebody, and she picked up a Juno for that effort. And let's not forget about Racine, Rats Are Present. Now she's back with a brand new CD. It's called Hot Gossip. Here is Sass Jordan on The Verge, Calgary's best rock, CJAY92. Calgary's best rock, CJAY92. That's So Long from Sass Jordan. New album's called Hot Gossip. And from somewhere in Toronto tonight, Sass joins me on the phone. How you doing, Sass?
Great.
Good.
Great, Stone.
First things first. Now, do you realize how difficult it is to find your name in the phone book these days? I'm looking for Sass Jordan, S-A-S-S-Jordan. Can't find it. Some identification.
Oh, the old name change.
Yeah.
The honest to God story is, ass is contained in the name Sass. The word ass is contained in the name Sass.
That's true.
And I would constantly be driving up to shows and appearing tonight, magician, Ass Jordan. Hypnotist, Ass Jordan. Which made me feel like, maybe people were going to get the idea that there was like a, it was like a peeler show or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Cabaret review.
Brass pole and all.
And the thing, all of that aside, I thought, I'm tired of this ass business. I'm just going to go back to the original spelling. Well, what a mistake that was. First of all, I go back to SAS. Well, the director of the video that we shot in November says to me, Sass, why did you do this? And I told him the same story I just told you. And he said, well, I don't understand why you did it, because all you got to do now is take the S off the front and put it on the back. And you still have it.
That's true.
At which point I was like, you know what, just call me dumb. I totally never even noticed that. I never even thought of that. Of course, otherwise I would never have gone through all this, pain and agony.
But what about your last name, too? Is there a change there as well?
Yeah, I just put it back to the original.
Oh, the original. That is the original with the O.
The original. I changed it in the first place because I didn't want it to look like my parents, because I didn't want them to get, hassled or anything. Just in case I became Madonna the third.
Okay. Well, now we got the third. Who would be the second?
Britney. Britney Spears.
Exactly. Okay. Well, now we got that straight. I feel much better, Ass Jordan.
Okay.
All right. I wanted to ask you, what was your game plan when you sat down to write this album?
Well, I'll tell you what happened with that was we had originally recorded a record prior to this one that the record company felt was far too rock for today's market, right?
Right.
So, because as you know, rock and roll is not very fashionable right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they heard the record and said, well, we are not going to be able to use this record, so we need you to record a new one instead, and we want you to record a record that sounds poppier, something we won't as much trouble selling.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I said, well, shove it up your Sass.
Kiss my ass.
And then I thought, no, you know what? That's not, that doesn't make sense. I gotta play ball. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this because I was discussing it with Derek, and we were looking through, some of the songs that we were writing. We said, you know what? We could probably do this with a different approach and make it sound more pop kind of oriented, and we could still pull it off. Let's do it. Let's use it as a challenge, because I really like pop music. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just not. It's just not my tendency. The thing with me is I can never do the same thing.
Right.
Which is probably to my detriment as far as, marketing and promotion is concerned. It's like you never know what the hell you're going to get next. Mm-hmm. I think it's, if like Bob Dylan or somebody like that was doing that, constantly putting out records with a different style of music or a different, approach, it would get irritating. You know, because when you go to hear Bob, you want to hear Bob.
That's right.
I want to hear some Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear some Bob Dylan doing something else. You know, so I can totally understand it from the perspective of marketing and from the perspective of even, you know, the public. Although the people, my fans, have been extremely, extremely supportive, and I've been very, very lucky with that. You know, in the meantime. So that's what happened with this record. So we did a record as poppy as we possibly could. Although it's still, you know, it's impossible to take all the rock out of me. You know, there's a couple of pebbles still in there.
It's in your blood. By the way,
it's in the blood.
It is in the blood.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we're in the middle of making a brand new record that is pretty much rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We decided the hell with it, screw fashion.
Hey, by the way, where can I get a poster of Sweet Thunder or the Pinups?
Sweet Thunder? Oh, my God. If you can get one of those, I'll pay you $50.
Maybe on eBay?
I don't even know if we ever had any posters.
I don't know.
I don't even know if Sweet Thunder ever had any posters, but the Pinups, I have no idea. I know there are people that have them because I've seen them. We actually had a Pinups reunion about 5 months ago in Toronto here.
How'd it go?
Because all the people that were in the Pinups ended up being like these, like one of the guys ended up being a big-time movie director who just, his name is David McNally, and he just did that movie called Coyote Ugly.
Yeah.
He directed that. He was in the Pinups. The other guy, David Hazen, is now like the head of promotion and marketing for classical music for Universal Records in New York.
Wow.
I know, it's too weird, isn't it?
And you
it's
turned
like,
pop.
Hello. So we had the greatest time. We did like a photo shoot trying to imitate our ancient Pinups photographs. Oh man. Who'd have known? We were like 10 in that time.
10? Wow.
No, I'm exaggerating. We were teenagers, though.
Yeah. I'm on the phone tonight with Sass Jordan from Toronto, and we're going to roll out Monday morning in just a second. This sounds like it was written maybe after a wild weekend or a kind of a hangover Monday.
You know what it was written for? It was written for my pal, Al Van Halen, who he smoked more cigarettes than you've ever seen. Of course, like, I never did that.
No.
Ever. But anyway, Al used to smoke like a maniac, and he'd say to me all week long, Sass, Monday morning, I'm quitting. It's over. Forget it. You know, who doesn't say that? We all say
I've
that.
said it 1,000
It's like
times.
a New Year's Eve. Anyway, that was it. That's it. I'm going to write a song.
Cool. All right, here it is, Monday morning on The Verge, Calgary's best rock, CJAY92. That is Sass Jordan. The song is called Monday Morning, and it's time for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Calcutta, motherhood, and what is next for Sass Jordan. From Calgary's best rock, CJAY92, that's Miracle from Sass Jordan, -1S. And our guest tonight from Toronto. That track we just heard, Miracle, is that maybe written about your daughter? No? Not really. It's rare that I write a song specifically about one person these days. It was kind of like, it's a spiritual song, and it's also, you know, you just, everybody that you care about, that you love, you know, so I just sort of lumped them all together, called them all a gosh darn miracle. Okay. How is motherhood treating you? Good?
Motherhood is treating me well, keeping me thin, because I'm telling you, that little rugrat can outdo... Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the album rocks tops female artist of the year. You even had an acting role in the TV series Sisters. Is that right?
Yeah.
At that time? Now, you should be at the top of the world, but instead maybe you're staring at the black hole of some kind.
Oh, yeah. You know, hard to explain. I don't know. I think people who are drawn even to express themselves as, you know, through music or art in any form have a tendency to be extremely emotional people. Not that people who don't express themselves that way are not, but just that. I think a lot of artists, like myself, have a tendency just to kind of go off the deep end.
Okay.
You know, and being in lines of business that are perhaps somewhat more indulgent of that kind of, state of mind. I think that it's easier to just continue to go off the. It's a very peculiar life to be, like a traveling musician. If you start to become really successful, it gets to a point where every single person that you run into and that you meet wants something from you.
Mm-hmm.
Be it your time, your energy, your autograph, your photograph, your contacts, your money, something, And the thing is that when you're on a roll, when you're starting to become really well known and successful, you can't stop for 1 second because you'll destroy the momentum. The way it works. So not only are you completely exhausted and not used to this constant attention and constant clamoring for your attention, it eventually, and you're constantly traveling, you have no real kind of roots anywhere, eventually, so you're not eating well or what have you, eventually what happens, it catches up with you and you just go for, the grand finale.
Right. But I mean, looking
put it mildly.
Yeah, but looking back, you're no regrets.
Oh my God, no! Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am today, and I love where I am today.
Yeah.
I'm happier than I've ever been. I've got the perfect career going on now for me.
Yeah.
Suited for me. I'm not suited for. I would not want to be like Madonna or some huge, massive superstar. I find that really. It's unpleasant. I've been around a lot of people like that, and I don't envy them 1 second.
They'd have a sheltered life, a lot of those guys, wouldn't they?
Well, it can be sheltered, but then again, it's that thing where, everywhere you go, everything you do, somebody needs something from you, somebody wants something from you all the time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just, it's exhausting and tedious,
Yeah. On the
Anyway.
phone tonight with Sass Jordan. She is in Toronto, and rumor has it I'm going to play People Talk next. That's not just hot gossip. That is the truth. Here it is, People Talk from Sass Jordan on The Verge. Calgary's Best Rock, CJAY92. Calgary's Best Rock, CJAY92. That's Sass Jordan. New album is called Hot Gossip, and we've got Sass on the phone from Toronto tonight. Future plans.
And we're in the middle of making a brand new record, a rockier record, and started a new record company. And I've got a TV show that I'm working on that's
really?
in the works. And let's see what else. That's quite enough.
What kind of TV show?
It's a music show. It's called Sass Jordan in the Round.
Oh, that's it, Sass. Thank you so much for the conversation.
You are most welcome. Thank you, Stone.
That's it for now. My name is Stone Malone. We will do it all over again next week. We'll check out some of the best in Canadian music. We do that one band at a time, and we call it On the Verge.